Okay, let's do some. Okay, let's check this out. Looks like we got something interesting.
We are in Paris by the Eiffel Tower, and I am sobbing because we just got scammed. Everybody tells you about being careful with the scams, but you just really don't think it's gonna happen to you. We ended up playing this game. This Italian guy he had like a lemon and some cups, and he was moving them around. And a lot of people were playing.
She played this fucking street game you're not supposed to play. Man.
And at the beginning,
you don't opt in.
Those people are with him. They were Italians.
Why did she opt in? She's stupid.
Watching, and then he was like, "Oh, you should play just for fun." And I played once. I played twice just for fun, because it's so easy. You spot the lemon.
Turn right. Turn left.
And yesterday we had an unfortunate situation.
Turn
My
left.
husband got fined. I will tell you guys about that in a second. So we lost a ton of money for that stupid fight.
Oh, wait! What if she was in on it?
So then we were like, well, maybe we can make that
right?
money.
What if she was in on the whole, like... She was probably one of the people who would go around and like try and get people to play the game, and then she would get a cut and then they finally got caught because they were scamming people.
They pressure you so hard into it. I'm pretty sure what he did was take the lemon inside his hand, because it's not an actual lemon, it's like a ball.
Oh no, okay.
But it's small
no, okay. She wasn't one of the people that was right in on it. She got suckered in on it though.
And he left. And so I just sat there and I started sobbing because I was so mad because
Wait,
we lost money.
But she said she got fined yesterday. Wait, did it happen? Wait, did this happen multiple times?
And so I was just so shocked because I was convinced it was so easy. But yeah, we just got scammed.
The way she makes it sound is she did it multiple times. Right? What the fuck? Did she... Well, regardless, she got fucked over. But yeah, there you go. Never play those games. All right, you see those street games where even the dice games. Yeah, those guys are those games have fake. Right, they're cheating. Yeah, it's literally the world's oldest scam. They did that shit back in the old days, literally. Oh fuck. Never play those types of games. That is an old-fashioned, literally an old-fashioned game that you should never play. What's this?
In a post-COVID world, I'm just an idealist to believe that we can... Hold on, Andrew.
You're not the left. You're not intolerant.
You know where I'm going with this. Yeah. We did not receive any apologies from the ruling class that lied to us repeatedly during COVID. The lockdowns, the efficacy of the vaccine, the mask mandates, school closures, and we just act as if it didn't happen. And I don't think the American ruling class understands
it's the same thing with the whole Biden thing. We had a cancer patient for president for 4 years, and nobody's like, oh, what? No, it didn't happen. Well, what are you talking about? Biden was the greatest. He was a great president for what he did.
And you know I'm making a good point here because there was no contrition.
That's just one example.
And again, I could go one after the other.
No. I would say that actually COVID, to me, I mean, this is actually very much like the 2008 crisis in a way. Okay, that spawned Occupy Wall Street. This has sort of spawned a different sort of political
Do you want to do Russia collusion? Do you want to do the laptop? Do you want to do, I mean, take your pick on the way things are covered in this country.
All I'm suggesting, though, is this full-on, constant relitigation of what took place in the past as opposed to a clear-eyed view of what's happening now.
I would just interject respectfully that it's not just First of all, no one was held accountable, largely for what happened.
Yeah, no one was held accountable.
Sort of like 2008.
Literally, all of the politicians that did their shit, none of them held accountable. Right, none of them. I mean, you might have some rumblings of oh yeah, we're gonna bring them in and get some deposition or testimony from them. But other than that, that's all you fucking get.
Because a lot of people thought all those bankers were supposed to go to jail, frankly.
Well, and honestly, there should have been. I think there should have been some administration of justice.
Or they just fucking sweep it on the fucking rug.
I can only speak about what we're living through now. And a lot of the COVID injustices we are still seeing today with younger people and their ability to own homes, with the inflation.
I mean, just look at what Biden did with Fauci. Pardon his ass.
So what I'm getting at, and I know a lot of the C-suite of America watches this program, they might understand where is this populist fervor coming from, is that you have missed the mark on so many of the core proclamations you made to the American people.
Explain to me.
Right, all of these Democrats spout a good amount of ideology, but never put it into fucking practice. It's fucking wild. Right, they all fucking shout it at the top of their lungs, but they never fucking get it done. What's this? We got Will Smith here turning down Django Unchained because, I don't know, he felt like it was too connected to violence? What the fuck are you talking about?
I had said yes.
You played a lot of violent roles.
But it was more about
also, you
the creative direction of the story. We sat for hours and hours and hours about it. I wanted to make that movie so badly. But with that story, I felt the only way I could make that movie is it had to be a love story, not a vengeance story. I don't believe in violence as the reaction to violence.
So he wanted something else for Django Unchained, but they didn't get that. So that's why they got Jamie Foxx instead, because he didn't want to play the role.
Want to be this. No. Like, violence begets violence. For me, I just couldn't connect to violence.
Basically, he couldn't play the role. He didn't know how to fit the role because he didn't like.
Yeah, right, exactly.
I guess he didn't like the
script. I had said yes to Django.
Basically. Yeah, I mean, yeah, even though he did, yeah, Chris Rock. Didn't play a gay role. Yeah, and then he was, it was in Bad Boys, right? It was like, oh, okay. Sure. Okay, whatever, man. Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that? That's a great one. You sure about that? And then we got, this is not a joke. Autism capital. And the answer isn't for Japan to import random foreign breeders to save the birth rate. That's how you lose Japan, which is unique in the world for its homogenous society. That's how Japan turns into any other random slop EU country, correct. Japan needs to eliminate the ridiculous, or turn into UK land. You don't want UK. Well, it'd be more like UK land, right? Because you guys are just a small landmass in the middle of the ocean, yeah? Japan needs to eliminate the ridiculous office grind culture, yes. And the cultural LARP of wasting time at the office so you're seen as more honorable. Correct. Or they basically try to hold you, right? Companies try to, like, hold you hostage, in a sense. Right now, salarymen pretend to work 5 hours longer than they should because of honor, and then they get plastered after work to deal with it. Oh yeah, the drinking culture of Japan after work, yeah. They're not having children, and they're just trying to survive. Japan literally has one of the lowest productivity to hours worked ratios in the world. You can give tax incentives and childcare support and all other frill, but the big things is changing the culture so that people are less stressed and actually see a possibility in having a family and get excited to make kids. Otherwise, you have overworked men and women. Oh yeah, the overworked culture in, Japan is worse, right, compared to the US. Pretending to working more hours than they should, drinking to deal with the stress, rubbing one out to doujinshi. Yeah, instead of going out and meeting people. Save Japan. We need the anime to keep flowing. This is all of us problem. There you have it. It's an anime. We need the power of anime, he said. All right.
11 alleged gang members are in federal custody in what law enforcement is calling a major takedown of a vicious sex trafficking ring.
Investigators say the suspects used social media and music videos to recruit young women and children, targeting runaways and kids in foster care. KTLA's Lindsay Pena live in Westwood with more on the story. Lindsay.
Always music,
Sharon, Micah, five of those defendants were already in court this afternoon, pleading not guilty to the charges against them. Earlier, when we spoke to the U.S. attorney here at the federal building in Westwood, he said when they served the arrest warrants this morning, they discovered 4 sex trafficking victims, one of them a minor. These are photos of some of the 11 alleged members or associates of the South Los Angeles-based Hoover Street gang who are now in federal custody on a long list of charges that include racketeering,
Hoover Street gang, nice.
Drug and firearms-related crimes, and money laundering. Sky 5 was overhead as arrests were being made at a motel early Wednesday morning.
Oh, shit.
They were branding these young women. They were raping them. They were abusing them. They were drugging them. Just horrific acts.
So we got some trafficking.
Bill Asaley saying
all
many
the trafficking.
Times the gang recruited victims through social media.
Money laundering
gang, portray a lifestyle,
human trafficking,
of wealth, of power,
money
of
trafficking,
violence,
human trafficking.
And they use that to actually lure
gun trafficking,
women
all
into
the trafficking.
that lifestyle. They think it's going to be glamorous.
A 31-count indictment details the years-long case against the defendants who allegedly operated in the Figueroa corridor, known as a human trafficking hotbed.
The lead defendant is a woman. She goes by Lady
that
Duck.
Dirty
she was
money.
out there recruiting these young women, children as young as 14 years old, into sex trafficking and really selling other humans. It's the worst
wonder
kind
which
of crime
streamer
out there.
has
According
dirty
to the
money.
indictment, at one point, a 14-year-old girl was trafficked for at least 3 days in a row at a South LA motel. The U.S. attorney says the case against the gang members is a strong one, with many criminal acts being documented on various social media accounts.
A lot of these girls came from the foster system. They're preying on people who are vulnerable, who don't have maybe families, who are runaways, and so
well, I mean,
we try
yeah,
to get
that's
them
how.
services and try to help them.
That's how predators are.
US
They prey on the
Attorney's
weak.
Office says trial is scheduled for October 7th for some of these defendants, and while most of them are in custody, one is still outstanding, a man named Brian Israel.
That is the
If all of these
Ouroboros
defendants are
that everyone
convicted on
faces.
the charges against them, they face 15 years in prison, and some of them could be facing life sentences. That's the latest from Westwood. Lindsay Pena, KTLA 5 News. Cher, Micah, back to you.
Lindsay, thank you.
Thank you, Lindsay. You heard her. She said thank you. You say thank you. I'll put everything in the description, usual for the YouTubes. Yeah, much appreciated. Don't forget to comment, like, subscribe. Yeah, anything to say?
I want to ask. It seems like a really broad question, but what does it mean to you to be an American?
What is it for me to be an American?
Also, and give all the people
is the ability
you see here like,
dream,
subscribe if you
love,
want to, as usual.
To have dissent, to be able to organize and build a kind of solidarity that recognizes the good and the bad of the formation of this country. That is willing to reckon with how we have used colonialism to harm others, especially in the Western Hemisphere. And
as soon as she
to
said
think about it and
colonialism,
imagine
I was like,
creatively
Jesus.
what reparations look like, what building solidarity looks like.
No,
what
did
bringing
she
all
just
of
say
us together
reparations
means.
too?
To be an
Okay,
American
that's it.
for me is the
Get her out.
ability to
Get
love
her out.
and also push back. The ability to be able to fight back and also build community. And to me, this precise moment is a time for us to ask ourselves, who are we as Americans? And let's be frank, we haven't always been great.
Who are we as Americans?
Yeah! Our history says a lot about what we've done and who we've done. This country has never been great for poor people, for Black people, for Indigenous people. And so to be American for me is to be able to live into what we should be, not what we have been.
You can leave. Get out.
Yeah.
Leave the country. There is no law. I got good news for you. No law requiring you to stay. I wish there was a law requiring you to leave.
This is a good edit. This is a good cut to
get
get a fucking. That's such a good cut to get. Oh, that's a good Matt Walsh one.
A mall designed just for robots is open in China. Its goal may be to actually score one. But its true purpose is to bring robotics into the fold of everyday life.
So Straight Arrow News finally,
the 4-story complex sits in the heart of the E-Town district in Beijing. This will be the site of the first ever World Humanoid Robotic Games. They run from August 14th through the 17th.
Well, even iShowSpeed showed off. Right, iShowSpeed showed off one of the robots too.
T1 and his soccer mates.
There was a little demo with one of the robots. It was just as retarded too.
Brazil. Now, T1 will be part of an event featuring 280 teams from 16 countries competing in 26 different sports, from track and field to martial arts, dance, and of course,
but yeah, this is basically operated by fucking like high schoolers.
There are also industrial and medical robots performing tasks. It's all part of Beijing's effort to revolutionize
high
the
school,
world of
college
robotics,
students. It looks
with the
like
ultimate goal of having robots do everything
obviously
from
have
household chores
what looks
to
like
cooking
teachers
to
too, maybe.
Now they hope you'll kick back and watch
mentors.
them do the playing as well. While it may be fun and games for some, industry analysts say the advancement is a game changer for the world. But if you're hoping to see Cristiano Ronaldo in robot form, think again. Scientists say the technology isn't quite there yet. These robots would likely face stiff competition.
Yeah,
from even the
they're
most
super
novice
stiff
human
right
competitor.
now. They don't.
That said, this week's competition will be a benchmark for the global robotics industry, with teams measuring robots' ability to maneuver and traverse in human-like ways, and using it to improve technology. For more on this story, download the Straight Arrow News app or visit san.com.
There you have it.
Ukraine's president, Volodymyr Zelensky, and European leaders are pushing to get their voices heard ahead of President Donald Trump's high-stakes meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin. On Wednesday, Zelensky met German Chancellor Friedrich Merz in Berlin. Then he joined a round of calls with Trump and other European leaders. Merz set the calls up to make sure Ukraine's position is on the table at Friday's summit in Alaska, a meeting Trump calls a feel-out session to see if Vladimir Putin is actually ready to talk peace. Ukraine and its allies say any deal must start with a ceasefire and include security guarantees before even touching territorial disputes. Zelensky rejected, for the most part, both Trump's idea of land swaps and Putin's demand that Kyiv give up the remaining part of Donetsk that it controls, calling both unacceptable and unconstitutional. British Prime Minister Sir Keir Starmer says there can be no negotiations about Ukraine without Ukraine, warning sanctions will tighten if Moscow resists a ceasefire. Talks come as Russian forces press toward Pokrovsk in the Donbass, a key supply hub, and Ukraine hits targets inside Russia, including oil pumping stations that feed the Russian military. For more of our unbiased, straight fact reporting like this, download the Straight Arrow News app today.
There you have it. What is this? In the left? Andy Sweeney has great memes. Come on, fam, I'm fun to lose my seat because the damn nasty Republicans. That's a shame. Yeah.
And the other side is just clobbering the shit out of us, just punching us in the face, kicking us
in
the
nuts.
nuts.
Beto or
and we're
what?
kind of throwing our hands up and we're asking the crowd, the people of America, hey, do you see what's going on here? This is unfair.
He's already dead.
Golden Edu. Trump cuts illegal alien population by astonishing. Wait, what was that? 1.6 million since taking office. DEI deporting every illegal.
We're throwing our hands up and we're asking the crowd, the people of America, hey, do you see what's going on here? This is unfair.
Walking out after losing 5 House seats. Yeah. Hey, that's what happens when you lose the House, the Senate, and the presidency. You got the triple trifecta, get fucked.
I want to talk to you more about the political nature of time. For if time had a race, it would be white. White people own time.
6 individuals were charged with aggravated assault, which is a felony. The white guy incited or urged 6 other people to
Did she really just say white people had a How does white people have a monopoly on time? I'm so confused on that one. United Airlines flight canceled after. Oh yeah, I saw this. Oh my god, I forgot to read. Dude, I forgot to bring this up. Yeah, apparently this happened. I don't know what the fuck, but apparently she fucked up that toilet. Oh god, it's all over the walls and window. Disney after they got tired of producing slot movies that make no money. Kids getting thrown off right and left. Total carnage. Wails of anguish. Not one adult gave a single shit about it. There you have it. Unfortunately, Meme the Left kind of, when he does like some of those edits, I feel like some of them he kind of cuts out kind of quick, even because of the long text. Whatever. That's just my own gripe with it. Other than that, funny stuff as usual.
Boots on the ground in D.C. National Guard troops now patrolling the streets. Crime crackdown or power grab by President Trump. Plus, countdown to the Trump-Putin summit. The Alaska location just locked in, and what Trump says he will do when he meets the Russian leader face to face. And Texas Democrats heading home, claiming they killed the redistricting push. But there's a fight waiting for them upon arrival. The stories that matter, clear and credible. From across the country to around the world. These are your unbiased updates from Straight Arrow News. Good morning, I'm Craig DeGrelli. National Guard troops armed and in uniform now walking the streets of the nation's capital. President Trump says it's about crime. Critics call it a power play. On Monday, the president announced he's activating 800 Guard members and temporarily taking control of D.C.'s Metropolitan Police Department. Army officials say the Guard will assist law enforcement with 100 to 200 troops on duty at any given time. Their role, administrative support, logistics, and divisible
could do it again.
Defense Secretary Pete Hegseth says the deployment will look much like the National
Or
Guard
he might
in
do
Los
more
Angeles,
he
when
might
troops were
actually
sent in during
federalize
protests over the Trump administration's immigration policies. The president has activated the National Guard under Title 32, which means they do have
also, this would be
powers.
good training
Defense
for the
officials
troops.
say for now, the mission is strictly to support police. The White House says it has now settled on a location for Friday's historic Trump-Putin summit, Anchorage, Alaska. After days of scrambling and running into peak tourist season, officials decided the only spot that would work is Joint Base Elmendorf-Richardson. They hoped to avoid the optics of hosting Russia's leader on a U.S. military base, but it was the only option that met security and logistics needs, according to CNN. Before he sits down with Putin, President Trump and Vice President J.D. Vance will hold a virtual meeting today with Ukrainian President Zelensky and European allies. That's according to ABC News. Zelensky says he's heard signals Russia may be open to a ceasefire, but warned there's no sign Putin is preparing for peace. It will be the first meeting between President Trump and Vladimir Putin in 6 years. The White House is calling it a listening session. The president says he wants to look the Russian leader in the eye and size him up. The summit comes amid high stakes and high scrutiny over the two men's past one-on-one meetings. Call it a reverse deportation. Mexico has sent more than 24 high-ranking drug kingpins to the United States to face justice. CNN reports they were flown to the U.S. on Tuesday, part of the Trump administration's crackdown on illegal drugs at the border. Among them, a figure tied to the Jalisco New Generation Cartel.
Yeah, basically,
the 2008
Trump
killing of a Los Angeles sheriff's deputy. The only condition for the
war
transfer,
on
they
cartel
cannot face the death
members
penalty in the
or
United States.
just
Back in February,
gangs
Mexico
in
sent nearly
general.
30 other cartel figures wanted for drug smuggling, murder, and other crimes. The latest moves are
Putting
believed to be linked to
cartels
trade
as
talks.
a
President Trump agreeing to pause
basically
a 30%
terrorist
tariff on
organization.
Mexico while negotiations continue. This morning, the White House is
Trende
taking a hard look
Arugula,
at the Smithsonian.
Trende
A new letter
Arugula,
obtained
and all
by
those
CBS
guys.
News
Right?
is ordering an
MS-13.
internal review of some of the nation's most popular museums, aimed at, quote, celebrating
Colorado. I don't know how
moving what the
Colorado's
president
still
calls
doing. It
divisive
might be still
language.
fucked up,
First round
you know,
targets 8
because it
museums,
was a
including
Democrat
the
state.
African American History Museum, Air and Space, and the National Portrait Gallery. Museums have 30 days to hand over information and 120 days to start making, quote, content corrections. The Smithsonian says it's reviewing the letter and remains committed to factual, accurate history. The review stems from a March executive order directing Vice President J.D. Vance, a Smithsonian regent, to root out what the White House calls improper ideology. Texas House Democrats say
improper ideology,
what
or
they set out to do,
they just
kill
rewriting
the first special
history
session and bring national attention to mid-decade redistricting. Multiple sources
I mean, they
tell
tried to
ABC
do
News
that with
they're
taking
now
out
preparing to
the
head back
right
to Texas,
statues
possibly
within
as early
right
as this
certain
weekend.
places.
But they warn plans could change if Republicans go back on their word about ending the session on Friday. Governor Greg Abbott says if Democrats do not return by then, he'll call another special session immediately with the same redistricting plan and possibly more. Democrats call the session corrupt. Republicans say
what do you mean
corrupt until the
corrupt?
map passes.
You guys are the ones who
Finally, this morning,
are
Space
corrupt.
Force has liftoff.
You guys did the same
United Launch
shit,
Alliance sent 2
and you
military
guys
satellites
did it for
into
free.
orbit.
You guys got off scot-free.
4, 3. We have ignition. 1. And liftoff.
Wow, that is cool. Great video. ULA's Vulcan rocket took off from Cape Canaveral Space Force Base in Florida just before 9 p.m. Tuesday. Listen to this. 202 feet tall, 1.74 million pounds, and all business. It's ULA's most powerful ride yet, hauling the U.S. military's first experimental navigation satellite in 50 years. Think test drive for next-gen tech, only at 17,000 miles per hour. And a big box checked for ULA. Vulcan is now Space Force certified to carry the pricey stuff. National security payloads, spy sats, the whole classified carry-on. Bottom line, new rocket, new badge, same old gravity, brushed off.
Now they're gonna send all their all the modified high-tech stuff up in there so that they can do more Big Brother shit.
Visiting Royal Air Force Fairford, where American troops are stationed.
Yeah, they're gonna update all of their equipment now. Now that they've updated most of their equipment, yeah, they're gonna update everything now. Look at that shit.
Kennedy Center honorees will be announced. In Baltimore around noon, a judge
More
will be the administration's lawsuit against all 15 federal judges in Maryland. At issue, a court order blocking the immediate deportation of migrants challenging their removal. And at 3 o'clock, the president will sign a series of executive orders, though the White House has not said what they will cover. Wake up informed, maybe even impress your coworkers.
That was 18
Sign up
hours
for
ago.
our unbiased updates
So that was already.
straight to your inbox every weekday morning.
Beijing claims to drove away U.S. destroyer in U.S. Yeah, so here it is. This is what I was talking about earlier.
It drove away a U.S. destroyer in the South
we were trying
China
to drive
Sea
away
after
the
it, quote,
U.S., not the
illegally
Filipinos.
intruded into a region near Scarborough Shoal. The U.S. denies Beijing's claim and says its ship was operating illegally within international waters. The People's Liberation Army released a statement saying the actions of the U.S. destroyer severely undermined peace and stability in the waterway. The U.S. Navy's mission was intended to get a reaction from Beijing in a direct challenge to its claim of sovereignty over almost the entire South China Sea. An international tribunal rejected China's claim in 2016, but Beijing refuses to recognize the ruling. A U.S. Navy spokesperson tells Bloomberg that, quote, China's statement about this mission is false. Nothing China says otherwise will deter us. The spokesperson says China's maritime claims are excessive and vowed the U.S. will operate anywhere international waters allow. The U.S. engages in so-called freedom of navigation operations in the South China Sea.
Oh wait, is this a different incident? Oh, this is a different incident than the Philippines shit. I thought this was the same incident.
Of a Philippines Coast Guard cutter near Scarborough Shoal that ended when 2 Chinese vessels collided. China says it took the necessary measures to drive the Philippine ship from what it sees as its waters. For more unbiased updates, download the Straight Arrow News app or go to
So basically,
SAN.com.
they're trying to claim water territorial. Right. And they want their water territory. That's theirs. That's why they keep trying to ram people and push people out. Let's take a look at California gun law, CCW update.
Hello, and welcome to California Gun Law. I'm your host, Don Hammond. Today, I'm going to discuss recent updates to California's CCW licensing laws and an interesting decision from the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals this week regarding civil rights actions related to possession of firearms without a CCW license. I'm a licensed California attorney and a shooting instructor. I regularly help teach the 16-hour class that's required to get a concealed carry license in California.
Yeah, basically in California, if
program,
you want a
we're provided-
CCW, you have to take that course, which is fucking shitty.
Education on California's complicated web of gun laws so that responsible gun owners like you can better understand how to lawfully exercise their rights.
In other states, you don't
has
have
a
to take a
complicated web
16-hour
of
course.
Firearms laws and
You can just
and there are lots of traps
put
for
in
the
paperwork
unwary.
to
We want to help you
try to
do
get
it right,
CCW.
so you won't need our criminal defense legal services. Today, I'll discuss current updates to California's CCW licensing laws, including a Ninth Circuit decision this week allowing a civil rights case to proceed regarding improper arrest for carrying without a license back when the licenses were harder to get. The case I'm going to get to is Matthews versus LAPD regarding LAPD's policy of denying CCW licenses.
Yeah.
First, a bit of history. It's been over 3 years now since the United States Supreme Court issued its decision in Bruin versus New York State Rifle and Pistol Association. That case struck down New York's good cause requirement for getting a concealed carry license. California had a similar good cause requirement, which was therefore invalidated as well. California at that time also had a moral character requirement to qualify for a CCW license. There was some litigation in 2023, including a case called People versus Mosqueda from California's 3rd District Court of Appeal, which took issue with the good moral character requirement. Ultimately, beginning January 1st, 2024, with the implementation of Senate Bill 2, the good moral character requirement was removed from Penal Code Sections 26150 and 26155. Those same changes in Senate Bill 2 also made California a shall issue state if an applicant meets the listed requirements. It is now easier than ever
you gotta
to get
pass
a
some check
CCW
marks.
license in the state of California. And I encourage
You don't meet
people
the
to
check
apply.
marks?
I
Too
have
bad.
other
You
videos on
missed
this
one check
channel
mark?
about the
Too bad.
application
Can't get
process
it.
and requirements and the court hearing process in case of a denial. I've handled a bunch of those hearings throughout the state. Anyway, before these changes, back in 2023, a couple of guys called Hun and Hearns were arrested for carrying guns without a license by the Los Angeles Police Department. They argued that it would have been futile for them to apply for licenses because LAPD was not issuing CCW licenses to anyone besides judges and retired cops. They argued that the cops were therefore violating their rights by arresting them for carrying a gun without a license. The trial court didn't buy it and dismissed their federal civil rights case. Well, this week, the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals revived the case. The appellate court said that LAPD's no-issue policy is unconstitutional under Bruin. And but for that unconstitutional policy,
I mean, it was
Hearns
always
had a plausible
unconstitutional,
argument
even
that they would have
regardless with
applied for
Bruin's
CCW licenses
weigh-in or not.
and been approved,
It's just they're trying
and
to
they therefore
fucking
would have been
strong-arm
legally
you into
carrying
fucking
guns.
losing your
The
rights.
case is Matthew versus LAPD. It's a federal civil rights action.
Honestly, the whole
Section
like you have to do
1983.
16 hours just to get
And a federal
that's
civil
even
rights
kind
action
of pushing it
can
too
come with
for
substantial
infringement
damages
on your rights.
and an award of attorney's fees.
Because now
But there are strict
they're basically
timelines
adding
for
a
filing
gate
such a case,
in a sense,
and they can be very difficult cases.
or a hurdle.
I don't personally handle these kinds
an extra
of cases,
hurdle
but I
that
know a few attorneys
you can't
who
get
do.
this unless you do this extra
In this
thing.
case, the Ninth Circuit held that the named plaintiff in the
They're
case,
making you
Matthews,
basically
in fact,
force compliance
missed the
in-
filing deadline
in a way.
and blew the statute of limitations, so his claims were not revived. It's great to see another Second Amendment friendly decision come out of the Ninth Circuit Court of Appeals. They've historically not been very good for gun owners in California.
Yeah, they've been
Now, this
kind
is
of
not a
assish
published
on it.
decision, so it won't be a valid citation in future cases, but it's still encouraging that we got another good
Yeah, I mean they
ruling out
walked
of the
back
Ninth Circuit.
the
I
ammo
frequently
stuff.
have clients in CCW
I think they
denial
tried to
hearing
walk
cases
back
who ask if there's
the
a way to
magazine
recover
stuff,
our
the magazine
attorney's
ban
fees
stuff too.
when we get a judge to
So it looks like they're
overturn
walking
their
back
CCW
some of
denial.
that stuff finally.
There's no direct provision for that in Penal Code Section 26206, which lays out the court hearing process after a CCW denial. So there's not really a way to ask the court as a part of that process, hey, make them pay our attorney's fees.
Yeah.
But maybe there is hope for a possible Section 1983 civil rights action in the right case. I'll be consulting with a civil rights attorney next week about possibly referring some of these cases. As a side note, I want to thank everyone for helping California gun law get to over 15,000 subscribers. I'm launching a new website as a companion to this channel, so check out cagun.law for more news and updates. It's a work in progress, but I've gotten it to the point where I can confidently launch it. There's even some CA gun law merchandise for sale if you want to support the cause. I'm Don Hammond at California Gun Law. We'll catch you all next time. Stay informed, stay legal, stay safe.
There you have it. You heard him. There you have it. You heard the man. And with that, that's going to do it for our news. Like I said, everything will be in the links or in the description. You can take a look and go through their stuff. Thank you.